morning.
Bonjour. Viewpoints.
And good morning. We are here at a special edition of Refreshing Viewpoints. We are live at Brunswick High School. Thank you for being here with us. My name is Kevin Pullen, and I am here sitting in for Mr. Bill Austin. And this morning, I have a very special guest with me. I have Ms. Gail Washington, or should I say, Judge Gail Washington. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And we have a lot to talk about. We have to get to know you, and we have a little bit of time, and we have to also make sure our viewers get to know so much about you.
Okay.
Judge, you have to tell us the road that you took to get there. How did that happen?
Well, you know, in looking back, I guess what happened was I was in college and I thought I was going to be a psychologist. And I decided I instead wanted to go to law school. So I went to law school, practiced law, and then there was an opportunity to apply to be on the bench. So I applied. Basically, back in the 80s, early 90s, the governor and many others were concerned about the lack of women and minorities serving on the bench. And so I was encouraged to apply, and I went through the process and ultimately was successful.
That is awesome. Now, we got to talk just a little bit before we went on camera, so I got a little bit of the background dirt, but I want you to share a little bit. Where did you go to school and graduate, and where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Southern California, so I went to UCLA, and then I finished law school in Washington, D.C. at George Washington National Law Center.
Now, and currently practicing in Atlanta.
Currently sitting and serving as the Chief Judge of the Atlanta Judicial Circuit in Fulton County, Georgia.
Now, when we talked a little bit before, you told me there was a very straight and direct route. And then now I'm tracing the story back when we talked before, and you've gone coast to coast over here on us.
Absolutely, absolutely. I grew up on the West Coast, went to school on, I guess, the East Coast, and now am very happy to be living and working in the South.
All right, and so you've been here now. You've been practicing for a number of years now. We heard from a little bit of your conversation before that you kind of got your eyes on the Golden Isles for maybe a transition at some later time, which may not be too much later, depending. Kind of looking at that, right?
Yes, looking at it, we definitely consider this area to be our happy place.
Okay. Now, going through the process and going through your career from coast to coast, and now you're here in Atlanta, we talked a little bit more too. And aside from your interesting career and very stellar career, I must say, for being in the bench and serving in the judicial system, you are also a creative. Can you share a little bit about that on this segment?
So I definitely have a creative muse. I love to write. I'm an author. I'm a dancer. I formed a dance troupe. But we're here to talk about my book, and the book is Riley, the Judge's Son, which is a sequel to my first book, which was called Misjudged. And I'd love to tell you about Riley.
Okay, so now we've kind of uncovered a little bit of this. You've got a book, and now we're on the sequel of the book. And we're going to come back in just a little bit, and we want to find out a little bit about how this interest, or if it was already there and just kind of sprouting up from the inside out, how you got to that place, and you're actually juggling the multiple sides of this, that linear side of doing the bench and that artistic creative side of actually doing your artwork. Okay, we're going to be back on another edition for Refreshing Viewpoints. Stay tuned for us. We'll come back and talk a little bit more with Judge Washington.
It's your day, it's time for you to shine.